We've come to almost the end of February, and there wasn't a PlayStation 5 reveal event just yet, causing PlayStation fans to wonder when they would see the PlayStation 5 for the very first time. Now, Xbox fans, we got a look at Xbox Series X at the VGAs alongside Hellblade 2. We know that Microsoft is going to be at E3 talking about games, which is the thing that we care about most. But Xbox fans also don't necessarily want to wait all the way to E3 to learn more about the system. So is there any chance that Microsoft will be putting on a reveal event sometime before E3? Well, some leaks kind of are starting to point to that, and I think that is the case. And we're going to talk about it right now. What's going on, everybody? Randall Thor 19, the man with the million, back again with another video. Hope everyone's having a fantastic day. If you could do me a big favor, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. Now, I'm kind of like everybody else. I don't want to have to wait a few more months to E3 to see what Microsoft and third parties are cooking up for next generation. I want more information, and I want it right now. And if you go back and look at Phil Spencer's interview at Gamertag Radio, he talked about how they will be bold with Xbox Series X reveals and marketing. And I have a pretty good hunch that if I were a betting man, that Xbox will be putting on some sort of reveal event for not only Xbox Series X, but also Xbox Lockhart sometime in April or May. And you know what, if you have $100 to put down on it, I would choose April. Just yesterday, I saw an article that said, rumor, Microsoft going to fully reveal Xbox Series X before E3. And the entire basis of their article was Tom Warren, a reporter at The Verge, being asked if we would have to wait all the way to E3 for Microsoft to fully reveal the Xbox Series X, and he said no, it'll happen before E3. And then, of course, there was this fan-made flyer, of course, my description of it, that was going around about Xbox Series media briefing on April 6th. Obviously, when you look at it, you can tell it's fake. However, the reason I want to bring it up is because I think the month is right. You know, right off the bat, you look at it, Xbox Series, it's not called Xbox Series. The next generation Xbox is called just Xbox. And Series X is just one of the systems launched under that line. And when they reveal Lockhart, it'll be called Xbox Series whatever. You can see here, April 6, 2020, 9:30 a.m. Pacific time at the Microsoft Theater, which is all the way in LA. They aren't going to do it there. If they do the event, it'll be at Redmond like they did for Xbox One, where they can invite a selection of press over to see what is cooking, maybe get some hands-on times for the prototype, right? So already looking at that, you know it's fake. However, the person might have an idea of the actual month, because I think that April is the month Microsoft is going to reveal this system in its full details. That means specs and what Microsoft wants to do for their platform for the next generation. Then maybe we'll talk about a couple games there, but basically the games will be saved for E3. So if you're looking at dates, you're talking about April 7th, April 14th, April 21st, April 28th. It'll be on a Tuesday, and if I was a betting man, I would go around April 14th. And I'm sure a lot of you are probably wondering, well, we already know what the box looks like. We know E3 is coming along, where Microsoft's going to reveal games. Why would they even need to do another event? Well, because you still have to explain a lot of things about Xbox Series X. You still have to show off Xbox Lockhart, if it's a thing, why it needs to exist, why you should get Xbox Series X or Xbox Lockhart, their strategy about putting games not exclusively on next generation, but also on the previous generation. That all needs to be explained. What's their vision for Xbox Live for the next generation? How does Project xCloud work into that? How are games going to be handled? If I buy a game on the Xbox One, do I automatically have it on Xbox Series X? What if the game gets updated? Do I automatically get that update for free? Will companies charge for that stuff? There's a lot of things that Microsoft needs to answer and tell consumers directly, and you don't want to have to cram it all into an hour and 45-minute show at E3, because you want and you need E3 to be about games. Simply games. People want to tune into E3 and see Fable 4 and Perfect Dark and Halo and whatever else Microsoft is cooking up, you know, ace under their sleeves, so to speak. But you can have another event a couple months, keep the talk about Xbox fresh in people's minds, and get people to understand your vision for next generation. That's why they have to do an event. And I know right now there is a scare with coronavirus. Sony has been pulling out of many events. They just recently pulled out of PAX East. They also just pulled out of GDC. Will that affect this? I don't really know, but Microsoft has to keep beating the drums. They have to keep Xbox in the minds of gamers. If Sony is going to be quiet and wait until after Microsoft talks about Xbox at this event and at E3 later in the year, then Microsoft needs to do their damnedest to make sure that they are nailing the message and are just basically in the forefront talking about Xbox Series X and why you need it. And if you don't have the money for that system, then maybe Lockhart is the system for you. Now, of course, this goes completely without saying, but Microsoft cannot blow this reveal like they did with the Xbox One. I just went back and watched that reveal, and it still makes me sick and nauseous. TV, sports. It was basically the beginning of the downfall of Xbox for this generation. People tuned into that and were like, yo, I don't care about Xbox anymore. Why do they think this whole thing is about TV and entertainment when it's about the games? Microsoft needs to make sure that they don't make that mistake, that it's just about the games, that Xbox Series X and Lockhart are first and foremost gaming machines, which I think they'll do a very good job presenting that to people. But keep in mind, this is incredibly important, and presumably Sony will not have an event beforehand. So you're in the driver's seat here. You're basically showing off next gen first, and Sony is waiting for you to talk about price and release date. So you're in the driver's seat, and you have to take full advantage of it. This is way too important to screw up, as we already seen you screw up once before, and it cost you the entire generation. As for predictions for the event, you know what? I'm gonna hold off on that until we get closer to April, until Microsoft actually officially announces this media briefing or press event or whatever you want to call it. If it does indeed happen in April, we should start seeing invites go out to the press sometime in mid-March. If it doesn't happen until May, then obviously invites won't go out until April. And yes, I'm keenly aware of the fact that people were saying, hey, PlayStation is going to have an event in February, and that really didn't pan out. But I really do think Xbox wants to be aggressive here. They want to be bold, as Phil Spencer said. They know that PlayStation right now is being incredibly quiet, and Microsoft has a lot on their plate to reveal to customers when it comes to the next generation, consoles, specs, games, all that stuff. You don't want to cram it all at E3, so another event makes sense, and I do think it'll be coming sometime in April. Anyways, guys, that is the video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, share this out on social media, or maybe tell a friend about the channel. I would appreciate that. And if you always want to be notified when I drop a new video, make sure you hit the notification bell. Thank you guys so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it, and I'll see everybody in the next video. Later, guys.